Good morning, YouTubers. This morning, 7:30 a.m. on May 23rd, 79 degrees. So it's really beautiful in the early morning. You get a small breeze usually, and in dry season, it's just wonderful in the Philippines, and I can't say enough about it. And then that means the rainy season is the opposite. So rainy season is anywhere from, in my experience, August through November is kind of an off and on, could be a rainy season. It just increased rain during those months, August to November. But it's still a lot of nice sunny days. And then your real hard rainy season is going to start anywhere October, November through February. Then in March, you start to get a little bit more sunny days, but still a lot of rain. And by the end of March, it's dry season. So then you have dry season, beautiful days like this almost every single day until your August time. So end of March to August, almost every single day is like this. Then in the afternoons in your dry season, you might get a rain shower blow through, or once in a rare while you'll get a 1 or 2 day tropical storm that comes through. So that tropical storm, of course, will be giving you some extra clouds and rain. But that's why solar is so wonderful in the Philippines. Like say, most of the months, right? You're getting wonderful. Good morning, Ate. So Ate is our trusted maid slash caregiver for John, my autistic son. So we tried probably 3 or 4, maybe 5 maids slash caregivers for John before we got Ate, and they lasted right around between 1 month and 3 months, each one of them. I mean, it seems like if they're not going to work out, you're going to know by 3 months. Then if you're going to find a good one, they're going to stay. Ate's been here for a year and a half, maybe pushing 2 years now. So once you get one that really likes your home, likes the atmosphere, likes the pay, it's real convenient for her because she lives right down the barangay. So she just walks to work every morning. We give her Sundays off because she goes to church every Sunday and is close with her church group. So it works out great for her, works out great for us. So that's one thing to think about in the Philippines if you need help for whatever situation you have in your home. Philippines, they're the workers of the world, right? They send workers all over the world, and they do all the jobs that people don't want to do. And as long as that they can maintain themselves and send money home, then they're happy with that. So a lot of these overseas jobs, though, are between 1, 2, and 3 year contracts. They have to work so many months, and then they'll get a couple weeks off, or maybe they might get a month off if they work 12 months, something like that. It's a pretty grueling overseas schedule, really. Like my whole life, I worked on a 2 and 2 schedule away from my home, which is, you get half the year off, but you're gone half the year too. So, everyone makes a little sacrifices so they can, get by in this world. And it's whatever you can live with, right? Like, I entertain the fact that maybe I should go back to work once I retired, because, but I had so much going on, construction of this place and and all my new family with Leonardo. He's an IVF child, so that was a whole like 2-year process before he was born, even before Lilibeth was become pregnant from the IVF process. And that whole process, we started it in the U.S. and finished it in Cebu. So Cebu was the way to go. It was right around $1 million to $1.5 million total process for all the things that you have to go through, the IVF process to have a child. And you can even pay more and pick the sex of the child, but we didn't want to do that. We just wanted to have a child together. And the reason we did, because I'm circumcised after my second marriage and after my fourth child. My son John, that you've seen on this channel, has autism. Oh, let's take a little break for a tea. Delicious tea break this morning. And yeah, my middle son, I have 3 sons, he's autistic, and I seen him personally regress after he got the 1-year volley of jabs. He regressed into autism. I seen it with my own eyes. So no one can tell me any different, because I seen it with my own eyes. I know what had happened with my son. And my first 3 children were fine with all the, because if you're innocent of it as a parent and you don't know what's going on, you just trust the medical community. You just trust them. Well, I found out real quick, but you know what? It had to take my 4th child, my second son, John, to regress into autism from those jabs to learn that something's wrong, something's not right. I'm being lied to, and that's part of the awakening and the red pill process that I've had personally as a human being on this earth. How you can't trust others because there's so many lies, so many ulterior motives of profit and power going on all throughout the world. You don't really know who to trust and who not to trust. You might want to trust someone, but you have to go by the evidence of it. And it's sad, most of the time innocent families get hurt because they have to go through the tragedy themselves before they learn. And that's sad, but that's kind of the way the world works. And there's people like me that can give you a warning, but majority of the time, most people don't listen to warnings. All we can do, people like us, is just warn and give others our experience, what we experienced in this life. So some people are receptive to that, and most people aren't. But even if I get through to one person from my warnings or my advice or my life experience sharing, then it's well worth it to me of this channel. It doesn't take very long. I mean, I don't go into huge productions with fancy and expensive equipment and everything. I just use my phone and do a quick video. I mean, it's not Hollywood production quality, but some people appreciate it, and I just like sharing it, and hopefully that you like the content. So this is this here, the guys had to set up this wiring here. It's temporary. It's a temporary limiter, so I don't put any power onto the grid from my solar system, because they had to rewire it for the requirements of the power company, because they said they were gonna install their export meter. Well, I'm still waiting They have all kinds of excuses and reasons why they're not giving me their meter, and the process goes on and on. The deception is very, very high. So I'm still fighting the good fight with them, trying to get my export meter. Someday maybe I will get my export meter, but the way it's looking now, I probably won't get it till sometime next year. So the way they had to reroute the wiring here for the requirements of the power company had to eliminate the limiter, so it eliminated power going on the grid. So I was making power, putting it on the grid, and paying for it myself, because this here import meter is a bidirectional meter. But if I'm putting power on the grid with this bidirectional meter, I'm still paying for what I'm giving them, the entire amount. So yeah, it's insane. So the numbers don't go backwards on these digital ones. On the old analog power meters, if I was to produce power, it would make your meter spin backwards and remove the amount of power I owe. Is the way it should work. That's why these digital meters is another example of screwing the little guy. Because right now I could be giving the whole grid power and removing all that I take from the grid. So anyways, there's all kinds of problems in this world, we all know that, but you just gotta navigate your way through best you can. So anyways, right now I'm on hold. I can make power, use it myself for free as long as the sun's out, hitting the panels, and as long as the power grid is on, so I'm good to go. Until I get my meter, then I can remove this temporary wiring for the limiter. So a lot of loud motorcycles going by this morning. I don't know what's up with that. That's one thing that bothers me in the Philippines. People, mostly young kids, I think it is. Just like where I grew up in America, it was the same way. Young kids putting loud mufflers on their vehicles, and they think it's so cool, and everybody wants to hear a loud muffler. Well, most people don't, but that's the way it is, and I did it when I was a kid, so I can't get too mad about it. But that's just, another thing you got to deal with. And the one thing I kind of like is that it's kind of a freedom thing, right? If you want lots of freedom, you got to tolerate a lot of things too, because especially in the Philippines, they don't understand a lot of things. The Filipinos don't understand a lot of things about what offends other people, like loud music. Like karaoke is a huge thing in this country. So it's one of the things that you have to get used to and start to tolerate, especially when you're in another culture's country. So sort of still bothers me a little bit, but I'm way more tolerant now of some of that stuff than I used to be when I first got here. And I'm sure it'll be the same for you, because it's a losing battle trying to fight that kind of stuff. The only thing I get mad about is when they're trying to racing with motorcycles by my house, because there's a lot of little children walking through the barangay to school every day, and morning and afternoon coming back home from school, and some of these people want to race their motorcycles because they think it's cool and everybody's going to watch them, right? Well, that's dangerous to the little children, so then I'll get on them then if I ever catch them, which is pretty rare. But once in a while, if I see it and I'm in a position to do something about it, I do, because it's so dangerous for the little tiny children. They're so innocent, and I'll stop people if they're trying to be dangerous, right? And try to educate them, because mostly that's what it is, education. Just like all the trash that people throw on the ground everywhere. It happens in every country, but it's education. Keep your place clean. I mean, look at My place is pretty much spotless. There's no garbage or trash being thrown around. I keep it like God intended to keep it. Natural beauty. Growing natural beauty. That's the way God intended. There shouldn't be trash everywhere. This is my trash collection area right over here. This is where I put my big bags of garbage, kind of way off the one side of the property here. And then when I get like 20 bags, then I'll go to my burning site in my property way north of here. Well, I say way north. It's like a kilometer away, something like that. So yeah, it's another very, very beautiful morning here. We're back from our travel this week. We're just trying to, get everything back to normal around the household here. We have a call in to our diesel mechanic. He's gonna come out and I'll help him put the generator back together because we got the parts here now. So it's just a matter of getting him out here when time allows. He has a regular job and he just does moonlighting on the side, like most people, plumbers, mechanics, people like that. They're always doing a side hustle, a side job, and that's normal. Most people do it to get some extra money. So I made a deal with him before on this job is $3,000 to remove all the bad parts and clean up and to prepare, and then we ordered the parts, and then to put it back all together and get it running and check everything, make sure everything's good. 5,000 pesos. So 5,000 pesos is $100, and so there's your price comparison there. So $100 for major mechanic work. It's not major, but it's it's removing components of the engine and putting it back in and taking care of all the fluids, the antifreeze in this case, and so forth. I'll be there as quality control and to help him, because there's putting that radiator, reinstalling the radiator and stuff it's a two-man job, so he might bring a helper too, but I'll be there supervising. I always like doing that anyway, just to be sure, because there's some practices that mechanics will do that's not right. So that's what I mean. You just got to be there to educate them and say, oh, this is going to damage if we do it that way. Let's do it this way here. So like stretching a belt, loosen your fittings for your adjuster, put the belt on, and then retighten your adjusters. But a lot of times they'll put on a belt with a screwdriver, forcing it, stretching it to go over the pulley or stuff like that. You know what I mean? That's why you got to be there watching. It's the same story everywhere in the world. Everyone tries to do it the easy, quickest way, right? But most of the time that's the wrong way. Just like in life. You want to do things the easy way, you're going to get yourself in trouble, or it's not going to work out too good for you in the end. Speaking of which, there's a foreigner that has a blog, World Zoom, and he's from the Dumaguete clique of bloggers. There's a lot of bloggers in Dumaguete. They all congregate there, and they all feature each other on their channels to raise their subscriptions. And now they've got a guy there, this World Zoom guy, I won't say his name, but that's his channel name. And through a bunch of investigations and stuff, that he tried to get in the Dumaguete clique of video bloggers to raise his subscriptions, right? And it was found out that he's a convicted felon, all over the world. He was doing a scheme as a hospital executive, money laundering, and then he fled the country of the U.S. for Thailand and lived off of, I guess, millions that he had that he had embezzled from these hospitals that he was involved with as an executive in the company, and making a shell company and funneling funds from the hospital to the shell company and then pocketing millions. Then he, like I say, he fled the FBI after he was caught to Thailand and stayed there for many months until he was apprehended and put in prison. He did prison time, and then now, which is fine, that's all your past, right? And that can all be forgiven if you change what you're doing in life. But now he keeps lying about his situation, even now with these other bloggers in Dumageddon, and it's sad because it's like he's a pathological liar. And that's the thing with lying. Once you start lying, some people can never stop, and most people can never stop. So if you start to lie, you continue to lie, and you can't stop it unless you give your life to Christ and really change yourself, really change your life. And so I'm praying for the guy, because he's a likable guy on video, but it's the proof has come out now. He's just a pathological liar, and he's just still trying to scheme a way to make money in the Philippines by doing YouTube and trying to get all the Dumageddon click crowd to build his channel, right? So it's pretty sad. I'll pray for him. I pray for everyone I feel that Christ needs to be in their life, which is everybody, I guess. Sure, I'm not perfect either. I'm a sinner, and that's why I have to ask for forgiveness every single day of my sin. But if it's a spiritual battle within your soul every single day, and if you aren't getting on your knees and being humble and asking for guidance, good luck. This is kind of mixed up, the stuff that you're going to get mixed up with, that's going to end you up in prison or destroying your family. So, it's a challenge, this old world. And my experience in life is, if you don't have Christ guiding you, you're going to get yourself in trouble. I've been in trouble many times because I discarded what I knew was right and ended up doing wrong. Never been in jail, but like getting drunk and smashing your car, driving off the road and smashing your vehicle and stuff like that. That's happened to me when I was in my 20s and my younger days, stuff like that. If you keep letting it go, it just keeps getting worse and more serious crime, and your lies keep getting bigger, and then you're found out, and then your life's destroyed. So good luck to this World Zoom guy. All I can say is I'll pray for him for the future, and hopefully he stops his channel, because it's not good. At first I believed him, but he keeps reinventing the lies, and it's sad. Anyway, enough about that. Just take care of yourself, stay on the true path of Jesus Christ, and I guarantee things are going to be good for you. If you stay on the path of Christ. If you don't, you're going to get deceived, taken. Your family's going to suffer way more than if you don't have Christ, and that's a guarantee of that. So take care, tubers. Love you guys. That's all for now. Edward, my channel is Foreigner Escapes to the Philippines, so please like and subscribe if you want. We're going to be doing some more activities here this week after I get the generator fixed, so stay tuned for more adventure in the Philippines. Thank you. God bless.